How do we do, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are here today watching True Limits of Humanity, the final border we will never cross. It's been uploaded by In a Nutshell on YouTube, so if you want to go check the video out yourselves, that's it. There it is right there. But let's just get straight into it.
Is there a border we will never cross? Are there places we will never reach, no matter how hard we try?
Yes.
It turns out there are. Even with sci-fi technology, we are trapped in a limited pocket of the universe and the finite stuff within it.
And that's what annoys me. No matter what we do in life, we'll never be able to look at the entire universe.
How much universe is there for us, and how far can we go?
Honestly, this is one of the best channels on YouTube, this.
If you look at the night sky, you might assume it will be there forever. Stars are born and die again in a cycle that feels endless. But it's not. Take the Milky Way, up to 200,000 light years in diameter, containing some 100 to 400 billion.
How, for one, do we know exactly how many there is? It's just an approximation. I'm guessing what they do is they look at a section of the sky and go, well, if there's that many there, if there's that many in that little section, surely if we push it out, there's that many. So there could not be as many as they think, and there could be even more. But I just don't get why we just...
Stars.
Billions.
How many stars do you think are born here each year? Thousands?
No.
Millions? The answer is around 3.
Yeah.
3 new stars per year. 95% of all the stars that will ever exist in the universe have already been born, and we live at the tail end of the age of star formation. We are at the beginning of the end of the universe as we know it. The formation of new stars will continue to slow down. But there's
how do we know this?
It turns out that the universe is rushing away from us. The Milky Way is not alone. Together with the Andromeda Galaxy and more than 50 dwarf galaxies, it forms the Local Group, a region of space about 10 million light-years in diameter.
Which is mental to conceive.
Our galactic neighborhood. Hundreds of galaxy groups like the Local Group make up the Laniakea supercluster, which itself is only one of a myriad of superclusters. In total, there are around 2 trillion galaxies that make up the current observable universe.
From what we believe.
Unfortunately, even if we can travel at light speed, around 94% of the galaxies we can see are already unreachable for us forever. Let this number sink in for a moment. The simple fact that there's a limit for us and that there is so much universe that a human will never be able to touch is kind of frightening.
It's devastating.
Why are all of these galaxies out of reach already? Well, it all has to do with why there are galaxies in the first place, the Big Bang. We're simplifying here, but in a nutshell, about 10 to the power of minus 36 seconds after the Big Bang, the young universe was a very small bubble of energy. It wasn't completely uniform though.
Everything
Some parts
all
of it
in
were
one place at once.
tiny bit denser than others, which had massive consequences. In a process called cosmic inflation, the observable universe expanded rapidly, from the size of a marble to trillions of kilometers in a trillionth of a second. That was so fast that all those tiny differences in density were stretched from subatomic distances into galactic distances, which is why the whole universe consists of more and less dense regions.
Yeah.
Pockets of the universe filled with a bit more stuff.
Yeah, so if you didn't get that, the universe is not growing like people always think in their mind. Like, it's not creating new areas in the universe. It has always been the same amount of things and the same distance. It's just stretching it. It's just stretching it further and further away. So all these people who like the universe is infinite, within technically no. And if you're on about the size of it, it's not infinitely big because it's a certain size that's just infinitely being stretched. So it indeed will create bigger distances between things, but the actual size of the universe hasn't changed. You've just made it longer. If that makes any sense.
Than the space around them. After that short but powerful inflation ended, gravity began trying to pull everything back together. Inside the denser pockets, gravity emerged victorious, and so over time, they grew into groups of galaxies like the one we live in today. The local group is our pocket of the universe.
Where we
But
chill
at
about.
larger scales, outside the denser pockets, the expansion of space never stopped. This means that our local group is surrounded by a lot of stuff, but none of those structures and galaxies are gravitationally bound to us. The more the universe expands, the larger the distance between us and the other gravitational pockets becomes. Even worse for us, the expansion of the universe is
It's speeding
accelerating.
up, yeah.
We don't know why this happens, so we came up with the concept of dark energy.
Dark energy and dark matter. Now, this stuff I love way too much, and it is so confusing.
You can imagine it like an invisible effect that speeds up the expansion of the universe. We'll explain these concepts in more detail in another video though. For now, all you need to know is that the universe is expanding faster and faster. This expansion
Which, if you're wondering how that's so mind-blowing, is because if you think of it like a bomb or a grenade, if you chuck a grenade, the biggest explosion is normally instant. That's normally the instant explosion is normally the biggest, and it'll deteriorate until it's gone. The universe went, nah, I don't want to follow those rules. I'm going to be absolutely huge when I start, and I'm going to start growing in speed, which means that technically the explosion that started the Big Bang is less powerful than what is causing the universe to still expand. It is so confusing, and I don't get how that works. And all they could think of is, well, it must be some magical thing called dark energy. All right, and what does dark energy do? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. Can we see it? No. Do we know it exists? No. So I think about science, they don't know the answer to something, so they're filling the answer with other things that they don't know.
means that there's a cosmological horizon around us. Everything beyond it is traveling faster relative to us than the speed of light. So everything that passes the horizon is irretrievably out of reach forever, and we will never be able to interact with it again. In a sense, it's like a black hole's event horizon, but all around us. 94% of the galaxies we can see today have already passed it and are lost to us forever. Wait, if we can't interact with them, how come we can still see them?
I'm going to guess it's because, I mean, it's from what I believe and what I'm pretty sure I've heard. Isn't it because light takes so much time to travel towards us, so you just see everything in the past? Like when people always say, how do we know we saw the, how can we say we've seen the Big Bang? The further you look into the past in space, like the further you look into space, the further you are looking at light that has never reached you. So that light is old. That light is older. Which means what you see in space, like when you look at the planets, they don't look like that anymore. They could be dead. They could be gone already. And you still see it there.
Well, the way we're able to see something is via light. And although the speed of light is the fastest way to travel through the universe, it needs time to get from one place to another. Every second, light reaches us from trillions of galaxies that have passed the horizon because when their light was emitted, they were much closer to us. We are looking at their ancient past and see their ancient positions. So
Yeah, so if a planet's 1 light year away, I'm seeing what it looks like a year ago. It's not what it looks like now.
the observable universe is much larger than the universe we can actually interact with. In a sense, the universe is pulling off a great show for us, showing us things that are out of reach forever. We have no idea what these galaxies look like today, and we will never know. But we will be able to observe them for a long time as their light hits our telescopes. Interestingly, this means that currently the observable universe still appears to be growing as more and more light released by super distant galaxies billions of years
That's
ago
not true.
is arriving at our doorsteps. Still, all the pockets of the universe outside the local group will one day pass our cosmological horizon. Once they do, their light won't be able to reach us anymore, and from our perspective, they will fade away into darkness. Every second of your life, 60,000 stars pass the horizon. Since you started watching this video,
60,000 a second. That's actually, I mean, there's billions upon billions, but 60,000 a second.
around 22 million stars have moved out of our reach forever. Okay, but if 94% of the observable universe is beyond the cosmic horizon and gone forever, that still leaves us with 6% that is technically in reach, which is still
More
a
than
ton
enough.
of stuff.
Yeah.
All the galaxy pockets that are less than 18 billion light years away. They are still moving away, but slow enough that we could physically reach them, although the chances are shrinking with every second that passes. Everything that's more than around 5 million light years away is moving away from us. But the closest galaxy groups are receding the slowest, so there is a time window to jump galaxy groups. The challenge is extreme though, even for Type 3 civilizations. Even at the speed of light, a trip to the Maphite group, the closest pocket of galaxies outside the local group, would take 11 million years.
Which is
If
mental.
some sort of super-motivated, super-advanced civilization takes this challenge on, its potential sphere of influence could expand to hundreds or thousands of galaxies.
So basically what they're saying is there is no way possible for a normal human to travel there. So we'd either have to make ourselves into robots or find a way to cryogenically freeze ourselves, which I honestly believe we are more likely to find a way to put a human consciousness inside of a computer than we are to find a way to bring back dead cells in a human body. Because when you freeze someone, the cells freeze and they'll die, they'll just decay. We cannot stop that. We don't know how to bring them back. And I don't think that's something that we're going to find out for a very, very long time. Whereas putting someone's head in a computer, we theoretically know how to do it. We just do not have the computer capacity to do so. But we know it's 100% possible.
Although, as time passes and the universe grows, they would be separated forever. It's pretty safe to assume that humans will not make this journey, at least not with technologies that are even remotely on the horizon. For us, the local group is most likely the largest structure that we will ever be a part of. Just traveling between the stars would be an achievement of epic proportions. We would already be incredibly successful if we were to colonize our cosmic backyard, which accounts for 0.00000000001% of the observable universe.
I'd call it a massive achievement if we even just popularized our Milky Way, never mind Andromeda or something next to us.
As dark energy pushes the rest of the universe away from us, the local group will become more tightly bound. All its galaxies, big and small, will merge together to form one giant elliptical galaxy with the unoriginal name Milkdromeda in a few billion years.
Oh, that's a very long time
might
away.
even smash huge gas clouds together and re-spark star formation for some time. And this new light will be very welcome because at some point the galaxies outside Milkdromeda will be so far away that they become too faint to detect. Once this happens, no information outside of the local group will reach us ever again. The universe will recede from view. A being born in the far future in Milkdromeda will think that the universe consists of nothing but its own galaxy. When they look far into empty space, they will only see more emptiness and darkness. They won't see cosmic background radiation, and they won't be able to learn about the Big Bang. They may have no way of knowing what we know today, the nature of the expanding universe, when it began, and how it will end. They might think the universe is static and eternal. Milkdromeda will be an island in the darkness, slowly getting darker and darker. Still, with its trillion stars, the local group is certainly a big enough playground to entertain humanity for a while.
That'd be a massive
After all,
galaxy.
we still haven't figured out how to leave our solar system, and we have dozens of billions of years at the very least to explore our galaxy. And we have the incredible luck to exist at the perfect moment in time to see not only our future, but also our most distant past just by looking into the night sky. As isolated as the local group is, it is our home. And it really is a spectacular place. Time for some...
Yeah, one thing I don't like though is how they say we only get to see this small fraction of the universe, because it makes you think that there's literally going to be nothing for us but that one small area of the universe for us that we will be able to travel to if we get there and don't kill ourselves. Is like millions upon billions of stars. So why are we even worried? We are never going to be able to populate that many places. We're never going to populate Mars.
You might have noticed that we sorta already made this video a few years ago, but the original had a regrettable mistake. In it, we said
Oh.
it would be physically impossible to ever leave the local group to reach other galaxy groups. But our travel limit is actually much larger, as we showed in this video. It's not physically impossible to go further, but just
We just
extremely
can't.
unlikely that it'll ever happen. So why did we leave the video up? Well, it has to do with the nature of the mistake. We talked to astrophysicists and they thought it didn't matter. The parts they considered important were correct and they thought we should just leave it and move on. So with that feedback, we decided to spare the video. But since 2016, and really thanks to you Burbs, we were able to grow Kurzgesagt and add fact checkers to the team and develop an in-depth process with experts and our detailed sources document to avoid these sorts of mistakes and also to make our work transparent.
I
We
don't
can't avoid
care.
making mistakes from time to time, but we can work hard on getting better. And this video kept bugging us. So we finally decided to replace it, not just re-upload. Sorry for if you want, you can watch topic.
Is that it? Well,
We
the video's
created a
over.
Milky Way poster.
Well, that was actually
and
really
a
interesting. Basically, what we found out is we're never going to do anything off this planet, or at least guaranteed outside of the Milky Way. But I don't even think we'll get to Mars, mate. Never mind outside the Milky Way. We are too dumb, and we will just die before then. Great ending for the video.